Om. 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 Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Gurureva Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Vyapyat Sarvam Trilokyam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vedyadramidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Jai Guru. Yata sarvani bhutani pratibhanti stithani cha yatraivo bhashamam yanti tasmai satyatmane namaha. So where are we in our text?
Starting chapter 29.
Start, please.
एकोनत्रिंशः सर्गः. Chapter 29. Chanimatra Sthitihi, living in the fullness of consciousness. Section 1. Kachopakyanam, the story of Kacha. Vasishtha Uvacha Shikhidvaja Kramenaiva Yatha Bodham Avapnatatvan Kacho Brihaspate Putra Prapto Bodham Tathaivahi. Vasishtha said, as Shikhidvaja obtained knowledge only gradually, just so did Kacha, the son of Brihaspati, attain to the perception of reality.
So now we've got a new story. Let's see what happens to Kacha.
Kacho balyat samuttirna sansarottaranonmukhah padapartha tatvajño Brihaspati abhashata katham uttiryate tata ghoram sansara sagarah. From childhood, Kacha was accomplished, intent on crossing over or being saved from worldly existence, and the knower of the real nature of the ultimate position and the categories constituting the universe. He said to Brihaspati, Father, how is this frightful ocean of worldly existence crossed over?
So Brihaspati is one of the gods. So he's got, unless he's got a father named after this god. We don't know. But the thing is, he has become a student of the spiritual life ever since childhood. Many of us are raised with those kinds of sanskaras. Even if our parents don't have them, we may have them. But at this point, he still has doubts, even though he knows moksha exists and he knows all about the various categories of this world, etc. So let's see what happens.
Brihaspatiruvacha uttiryate nirudvegam सर्वत्यागेन पुत्रकः इत्युक्तः स कच सर्वं त्यक्त्वा वैकान्तवन्ययौ. Brihaspati said, Son, this worldly existence is crossed over without agitation or fear by complete renunciation. Thus told, that Kacha, giving up everything, went to a lonely forest.
Yes. So here, once again, we have the injunction, give up everything. And remember, the whole point of the story of Shikadvaja is he thought that it meant getting away from worldly things. In the end, we can't. The world is the world, but the world is not the problem. The problem is attachment and identification. The problem is the mind itself believes itself. Remember what Chudala was telling him. No, even if you jump off a cliff and give up the body, it's not enough. You have to give up the mind. And what is the root of the mind, she said? The I thought. I think I'm a person. And one of the golden robes the ego will dress itself in. If we've been on the path a long time, I'm a spiritual person. I have had experiences. Let me tell you about all my experiences.
Jim, hi, this is Pete.
Yes,
Hey, I'm curious, when you say experiences, you mean these people who might we meet along, like they're like, oh, I saw this god or I did LSD, those kind of things that you've talked about before, or this is different?
that can be part of it, but
Okay.
the thing that you can find someone who is identified as a seeker, a spiritual person, or they may even think they have had some deep spiritual experiences. First of all, they're going to tell you about it.
Hmm. Okay, thank you.
Oh, I've had this and I had this mind state and I was in this samadhi and oh, and then, yeah, and they could be seeing visions. That's also part of it. But the whole point is the ego has wrapped itself in various garments over the lifetimes. I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm a sailor, I'm a thief, I'm a king, I'm a harlot. Uh, I'm a this, that, and the other thing. And then finally, it does wrap itself in the identity of being the mumukshu, the seeker after liberation. For a while, that's a good identity. We subsume all the other identities into that one. Or the way Krishna frames it in Gita, by all means, be a yogi. Okay, I'm a yogi. I'm not a merchant, I'm a yogi. That's your new identity. But then that has to go. Don't try to be an enlightened person. No, you are Brahman. And that all mind states are fundamentally unreal. Take it easy. What's the fellow's name? Kacha?
Mhm.
Does he occur in the mythology? I don't know.
Um,
Not someone you're familiar with?
no,
Okay. But Brihaspati, he's
I think he's like, yeah, just a name for like the Godhead.
yeah. So I don't know in the story if this is somebody who's named Zeus and he lives down the street, or it's Zeus. Yeah.
Jesus or Jesus. All right.
Going on.
Brihaspate tad gamanam no dvegaya babhuvaha sanyoge cha viyoge cha nakshumyanti mahashayaha. His departure did not cause agitation in Brihaspati. Noble-minded ones are not disturbed either in association or separation.
So the Kacha leaving Brihaspati did not agitate Brihaspati's mind. Just like we were talking before class about Chudala being in the form of a young Brahmin boy who transformed himself into a young woman who was then doing the mufti pufti with the guy. And Shikibhajan, all is well. No problem. Supreme indifference. And, it's not a dullness of mind. It's this, I love what Priya used to say, radical perpetual acceptance. Oh, this is what the Lord has brought this time. Acceptance, acceptance, acceptance. Leaning into whatever's there. Going on.
Ekada pitaram praptam tatva prapacchatam kachaha adhyedam ashtamam varsham sarvatyaga krito maya tathapi tata vishrantim nadigachamyaham katam. Once, having bowed to his father who had arrived, Kacha asked him, Father, now this is the 8th year since complete renunciation was accomplished by me. Even then, how is it that I do not obtain repose?
Yeah, same problem that Shikibhaja had. I've done all these external renunciations. I've done all these practices. And still there's efforting. There's struggling. And yet very subtle. I want a wackadoodle mind state. I'm going to meditate standing on my head for 2 hours till my ears bleed. There's still the element of craving. There's no Sabbath rest, to use the language of the Hebrew Bible. Going on.
Sarvameva tyaja ityakva yayau vachaspati dvamam gate tasmin kacho dehat valkaladhyapya hatyajat. Give up quite everything. Thus having said, the Lord of Speech or Brihaspati went to heaven. When he was gone, Kacha then got rid of even the bark garment and the like from the body.
And the light from the body?
And the like.
Oh, so he gives up everything. He's becoming sky-clad. So I think we've had this conversation, and it doesn't seem to happen as frequently now, but in my earlier days of traveling in India, you'd be in a big city and you'd see some sadhu walking down the street, stark naked, with just a mala around his neck, covered in ashes. Nobody bats an eye. Oh, sky-clad.
I love that word, skyclad. It's so poetic.
Yeah.
You know, it's very beautiful. Way better than naked.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
it's reverential.
Mm.
You know.
Yeah. But even that is not enough. And again, subtle things. Oh no, I can't go into downtown San Francisco. I'm too pure for it. It's too much busy, noisy mind. I have to avoid that. Right. No, I can't live in this neighborhood. Public transportation, oh no, it soils my aura. That's not freedom. It's not freedom at all. Going on.
वर्षत्रयात् परं चापि प्राप्तं पितरमब्रवीत् कन्था त्यक्तव कन्थां त्यक्त्वपि विश्रान्तिं नैवास्ति किं करोम्यहम्. Even after 3 years, he told his father who arrived, having renounced even my patched garment, there is no repose. What shall I do?
Yes. Still no peace. Let's see what happens. Going on.
Took him 3 years to ask that question.
Well, some of us are a bit slow. I mean, I first to admit I've been a crappy yogi, but I've been steadfast.
I love that
Mhm.
because I'm the same.
Mhm.
But I stick to it, even if I'm bad at it.
And I'm always fond of this story. There was a Buddhist monk, and he was at one banquet. I can't remember what the celebration was, and it was at a hotel. And there was another person who was one of his disciples who had arranged for the menu and stuff like that. And there was for this fundraiser banquet on the menu was what we used to call in the political sphere rubber chicken. Did you ever have that term?
I've heard it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's, some form of chicken. So he gets served the chicken. And then the hostess goes, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Because I know you're a vegetarian. Here, let me take that away and get you something else." He says, "Oh, no, leave it here." And she says, "But I thought you were a vegetarian." He says, "Well, I am. But when I was served the chicken, I noticed that I had an aversion." So what was more important for him?
Mm.
To move through an aversive state of mind or to maintain some external notion of purity.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And if you want to have a sattvic mind, one of the things that will help it more than anything else is have a sattvic diet. I mean, this is not license to live like a slob. Are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The issue was to get free from attachment and aversion. Going on.
Padartha vrindadehaadi nahi chittam bhavet iti nishchitya pitaram gatva punah prapachyatam kachah. The body and the like are composed of a group of objects, tangible things. Surely they cannot be the mind. Thus, having ascertained and going to his father, Kacha again asked him as follows.
Going on.
Chittam kim prochyate tata tasyotaram uvachasa antaryoyam aham bhavo janto tat chittamuchyate. Father, what is described as the mind? He gave him this reply. This sense of I which exists within a living being, that is called the mind.
Yes. So he's clear he's not the body, perhaps. It's just a conglomerate of, arms and legs and blood and guts and all that sort of stuff. But what is the mind? And here, Brihaspati says, the essence of the mind is the sense of I. I feel like I'm a person. Now, in this text, and I've shared this before, it says that samsara, my ignorance, my suffering, the wheel of karma, the jagadjala, the web of the world. Only three ideas. I think I'm a person. I think there's a world of name and form separate from me, and I need to make efforts or struggle to get something. So here, Brihaspati, and you only need to remove one of those, and the other two will fall. So here, Brihaspati is striking at this first thought. The flow of thought is not, in the end, problematic. It's my identification with the I thought. I am Jim. And as soon as we buy into that, I'm not enough, there's not enough, and then struggle sets up. Going on.
Kachavacha manyesya dushkara tyaga satvaktum shakyate katham. Kacha said, I consider the renunciation of this as difficult to be accomplished. How can it be given up?
Yes. So for many of us in deep meditation, the mind thins out. I'm clear. I am that vast empty space of awareness. But I come back to ordinary mind and the sense of self, small self, returns. Son of a bee won't stay gone. How do I get out of it permanently? That's what Gacha is talking about. Going on.
Brihaspatiruvacha sukaro hankrite tyago na kleshotra managapi mityarupo hyaham bhavo liyate tattva bhavanat. Brihaspati said, the renunciation of the sense of I is easy to be done. There is not even a little trouble here, because the sense of I is of unreal nature. It is dissolved on account of the contemplation of reality.
Yes. So if I keep focusing on the ego sense and trying to batter it into submission, that's like when R2D2 projects Princess Leia in the first Star Wars film. If there's somebody with a sword who's trying to kill the hologram of Princess Leia, he can't do it. Why? Because it's not real. So rather than battling with egoism, Brihaspati here says, see its fundamental unreality. The way I like to frame it, I cannot think a real thought. No personal sense of self is real. Who am I? Oh, Chidananda Rupam, Shivoham, Shivoham. My nature is bliss consciousness. I am sure. I am auspicious. Notice that's a quote from Adi Shankara. It doesn't say I'm a knower of Brahman. I'm a realized person. It's still identification of personal sense of self. Going on.
Vacchinnam swachham nityoditam tatam sarvarthamayam ekartam chinmatram amalam bhavan tadeva bhavayan sadhu shantatishta gatajvaraha. You are the stainless consciousness in entirety, which is not separate by space, time, and the like, and which is pure, ever existing, spread everywhere, full of all substances, that is, of the nature of the totality of objects in the universe, and the only thing or substance which is absolute and undivided. Contemplating that alone perfectly, remain calm, free from distress.
Yeah. Yourself can't be improved. Yourself has no dirt, no taint, no form. Yourself is the eternal subject. Give up worrying about stupid mind states. You are Vigunahi, beyond all of this. Vijnana Gana, a homogeneous mass, pure being, pure consciousness. So the corollary to the thought, no personal sense of self is real, is this. If I feel like a person, I'm deluded. Don't believe anything the mind presents to fix the person. Rooted in illusions. Stop. Remember who you are. Satchidananda Rupaham. Aham evaham avyaya. I'm of the nature of existence, consciousness, and bliss. I am that. I am immutable. Going on.
Iti yogam shitu prapya jivan mukto babhuvasah nirmamo nirahankara छिन्न ग्रंथि प्रशांत धीः कचो यथा स्थितो राम तथा तिष्ठा विकारवान्. Having obtained from his father such yoga, or the liberating knowledge of identity with the self or pure consciousness, he became liberated while living, free from the sense of I and mine, the knot of ignorance broken, in the mind calmed. Rama, you remain endowed with immutability as Kacha was.
Yes, so remember our framing story. Ram is all dejected. Why should I bother to go on? Life sucks. And the Vasishtha says, oh dear, we got to help this kid. But the whole text has been about the enlightenment of Lord Brahma. Any of you ever done any Sufi dancing?
No.
What they call that, sometimes it's called a sema, but it's sometimes also called a zikr. You ever heard that term? Zikr is both an Arabic word and a Hebrew word. Is this a word you know, Atik? Zikr?
Yes, I actually know it in Urdu also.
That's a word in Urdu.
And what's it mean in Urdu?
It means like remembrance and like
Yeah. So a Sufi dance, or where they stand in a circle, Allahu, Allahu, or the spinning Mevlevis, remember, remember. The exoteric, remember God, Allahu Akbar, God is great. But the deeper meaning, you remember who you are. Oh, that's right. I'm not a person, never was. And as I like to say, you have to watch out for a demon who will attack you. Yebet, the demon Yebet. There I am. That thunderous silence. Yeah, but what about that person who said such and so and so to me? Ciao. Ciao. Jai. Ciao. Jai is victory. Ciao means get up. Remember who you are. Or that famous poem that's at the beginning of Atma Bodha. Tata Smarami. What's that mean in Sanskrit?
I remember.
In the
In the
morning.
morning.
I remember. Swami translates it as I meditate. It's okay. But literally it means I remember. Oh, yeah, that's why. Holy God, holy and mighty, holy and awful. That's called the Trisagion in Eastern Orthodoxy. I love that word. Going on.
Section 2. Mithya Purushopakhyanam. The story of the unreal person.
Oh, this is good. Now, as we get towards the end of the book, this is my opinion. This was initially, I think, an academic adventure for the fellow who compiled the 1600 verses. And I think as he was getting towards the end, he was getting a little worn out because the stories get shorter and shorter.
Really short
Yeah.
compared to Chudala.
He's editing them down now.
He was like, I've gotten paid. I just need to get this thing finished.
Yeah, I think it was a submission for like an academic exercise as a grad student is what I think it was. Fun. Going on.
Imam Akhyayikam Chitram Shrinu Raghava Shobhanam. Raghava, hear this strange and splendid story.
Going on.
Maya Yantra Maya Kaschit Kudho Maukhena Kevalam Nishprapanche Kvachit Shunye Jata Tatraiva Tishtati. A certain person consisting of the contrivance called illusion and hidden or invisible solely due to stupidity was born somewhere in the void, which has no appearance or manifoldness and lives there itself.
Yes. So this is a once upon a time story. So downstairs, there's an apartment. It's between apartment 3 and apartment 4. It's apartment 3.5. And someone lives in apartment 3.5. And they're only 2 feet tall. They're a hobbit. They have furry feet. And they live in there and they have a long meerschaum pipe that they smoke. You know, we have rules here. You're not supposed to smoke in the building, but they do in apartment 3.5. Now, this hobbit likes to go on adventures. Do you like my story?
Keep going.
There's nobody there. There's no apartment 3.5. There's nobody who lives there. So here the scripture's talking about making up a person. Now, this hobbit has occult powers, and I'm really quite afraid of him. Because one time we got in an argument because his smoke was bothering me, and he cursed me. So I'm very afraid to walk by apartment 3.5 because there might be all sorts of bogwarts or something like that that are going to jump out at me. I'm afraid of this person who doesn't exist. Going on with this story.
Tasmat anyat na tatrasti yat asti cha sa eva tat yat chanyam tattabda bhasam natu pashyati mudhadihi. There is nothing there other than him, and what else is he? And what else is he alone is that. Whatever is different, that is his semblance or fallacious appearance. But this foolish one does not understand that.
Yes. So the hobbit down there has powers to manifest things. And he's manifested a dog with 3 heads. And that dog with 3 heads keeps snapping at him. So he's too afraid to go out of his apartment because he would have to pass the dog with 3 heads. But he manifested the dog. You realize the person he's talking about, don't you?
Mhm.
It's that personal sense of self.
You make up.
You made it up, and then you made up your relationship with an essentially neutral world and made it joy-giving or misery-producing. And then you run after or avoid your own imaginations. You do not see what's really there. What's really there? Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. All this is verily Brahman. Going on.
इष्टस्य वस्तुना कस्य रक्षार्थम् अकरोत् गृहम् अस्य कोशे प्रबन्धास्थां रक्षितं खं मयेत्यसौ. He built a house for the protection of the desired object, namely space. He had his stay within the covering or apartment of this house with the thought, this space has been protected by me.
So he's very weird. The fellow in this story thinks space needs to be protected. So he builds a house to protect the space. And then he lives in that house with a shotgun. So nobody steals space. Do not we get triggered when we're attacked? Do not we engage in people pleasing? Do not we get defensive if someone attacks us? You're the dude or dudette who doesn't exist in the house with the shotgun, trying to protect space. You are Chid Akasha. You are the space of pure awareness. Nothing touches you. Well, let's see what happens.
अथ कालेन तस्मिश्च गृहे नाशम् उपागते तां गृहाकाशमष्टस्त्वं हाक्व यातोऽसि च क्षणात् इति शोकात् पुनश्चक्रे खरक्षार्थं स कूपकम्. Then when that house suffered destruction in course of time, he again constructed a well for the protection of the space, lamenting thus out of grief. Alas, space of the house, you are lost. Ah, where have you gone in a moment?
So, what's going to happen when I die? Will I go to heaven and see Aunt Mary? Will I be born again into another body? Oh, I hope to be liberated so I don't have to come back. All ideas about protecting the space of consciousness. Other classes, you've heard me do this. The glass is like the physical body. The water in the glass is like the subtle body. Both are inert and insentient. You are like the space in the glass. Magic trick. Focus on the glass space. There it is. Did I move space? If I pour the water from one glass into another, what happens to the space? Nothing. Or even more vividly, do you incarnate into a dream? Or as Krishna says in Gita, early chapter, he says, all this is strung on me like gems on a thread, Mani Sutra. But then in the 9th chapter, he goes on to say, well, actually, I am not in them. They are in me. And in actuality, they're not even really in me. You go nowhere. All right, let's see what happens to the guy in the well.
Kale kupe layam nite, kupakasho gato mriti, kupa kasha pralapante, shighram kumbham athakarot, kumbhakasha paro bhutva, mohat nirvrittim ayayau. When the well was reduced to dissolution, he lamented thus: the space of the well is indeed gone or lost. At the end of his lamentation over the space of the well, he then quickly made a pot. Engrossed in the space of the pot, he attained to satisfaction on account of delusion.
Yes, aha. Well, the house and the well kept caving in. I need something I can carry around and protect. So I'm going to use a pot. Goomba. Are you inside your body? Are you carrying it around? Chidananda. Short form is bliss consciousness. You are not a person. The feeling that I'm a person is fake news. Far more serious than anything a politician could say. Going on.
Tasmannapi vinashte sa shokat kundam chakaraha. Tasminnapi vinashte sa chatushalam chakaraha. When even that was lost, he verily made a bowl on account of sorrow. When even that was lost, he indeed made a quadrangle enclosed by 4 fences.
Same idea. He keeps creating different containers, thinking that space needs to be protected. So you and I keep creating structures to defend, protect, assert self. How am I doing? Am I okay? What do they think of me? Going on.
Tasmin kalat gade nasham kushulam sa chakaraha tadapyasya jaharashu kaluvat ivambudam kushulakashanashtastvam ityasau paryatapyata. When it was destroyed, when it was destroyed on account of the passage of time, he verily made a granary. Time took away his granary also quickly, just as wind carries away a cloud. Space of the granary, you are lost. Thus did he suffer distress.
So the same idea. We keep creating ego structures, some grander than others. I'm a powerful, important person. Or again, that last golden garment of ego. I'm a spiritual person. I'm a knower of Brahman. I'm one of the special people. My halo blowing. That's the granary. Going on.
एवमाकाशरक्षार्थम् यत्मानस मूढधिः दुःखात् दुःखतरं प्राप्य नैव निर्वृत्तिमाप्नवान्. Thus, striving for protection of space, that stupid person, going from sorrow to greater sorrow, never obtained satisfaction.
And that's you and me. The other one I like, it's the dude hitting himself on the head with a hammer. Jim, why are you hitting yourself on the head with a hammer? Because it feels so good when I stop. I want more money. I want a bigger house. I want relationships. I want politics to be different. Anything. Somehow it's going to fix me or fix the world. Going on.
Jim, question.
Yes.
So this is kind of where, you know, we hit ourselves in the head with a hammer or chase after things, just thinking we want them. That's kind of what we've talked about before around when the object of desire and the object come together, there's a moment of, you know, peacefulness, and that we mistake as being for the object, but it's because of the lack of desire, right?
It's a taste of yourself. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Going on.
एवम् आत्मा भवत् शुद्ध सर्वादौ अम्बरोपमम् तस्मात् उद्देत्यहङ्कार पूर्वं स्पन्द इवानिलात्. Thus, at the beginning of creation, the self was pure like the sky or space. From that, the sense of I rises at first, like movement from the wind.
So, whether or not cosmologically these ego senses arise at the beginning of creation, who's to say? But the point is, they arise like the wind, just out of nowhere, just seems to arise with its spanda, its movement, its vibration. Now, be very careful at this understanding of Scripture, asking why doesn't help. The better question is, how do I get out of it? Or the way Shankara frames it. Anybody remember the 7 questions from Vivekachudamani?
Some of
What is bondage? How has it come about? How does it continue to exist? How do I get out of it completely? What is the not self? Who is the real self? And what is the process of discrimination between the two? Those are fruitful questions.
What was the last one?
What is the process of discrimination between the two, the self and the not self? You know. All right, going on.
अनात्मात्मैकराक्षार्थम् देहानानाविधान् असौ कूपकुण्ड चतुष्शाल कुम्भकुशूलतुल्यकान् भूय भूयो विनाशेऽपि सृजनाकुलतां गतः. That sense of I, which is not the self, with the idea that it is, only for the sake of protecting the self, creating again and again, even when destroyed, the various kinds of bodies like the well, the bowl, the quadrangular enclosure, the pot, and the granary, was reduced to the state of perplexity.
Yes. How do I, Jim, find peace? how do I get realized? Or am I realized yet? Or am I at the first stage of realization? Is there a deeper stage? Is there a self beyond the self? What's next? What's next? Who's concerned about that?
That's
Huh?
mind.
The self.
No. The fake ego,
That's not the self.
small self.
Small self. That's what I meant.
Yeah. Yeah. The real self goes nowhere, needs nothing. Kutastha, stable, still like a mountain. Vijnana Ganam, a homogeneous mass of pure awareness. Don't believe me. Don't believe the scripture. No. Now, both Ramana Maharshi and Nisargadatta Maharaj say, okay, go looking for this personal self. Introvert the attentive faculty, stay with the question, who am I? And what they say is, if you understand, if you can perceive something objectively, that can't be yourself. You're not a thought, you're not a feeling, you're not a memory, you're not an object. Well, then who are you? And that false self falls because it's not real. Going on.
आकाशात्तपि विस्तीर्ण शुद्ध सूक्ष्म शिव शुभ य आत्मा स कथं केन गृह्यते रक्ष्यते अथवा. That self, which is more extensive than even the sky, pure, subtle, auspicious, and splendid, how and by whom is it grasped or protected?
Yes. So nobody can hold it, grab it, own it. Listen carefully. In the end, even the notion in the subtle intellect, there's nobody there. That pratyabhignanam, that recognition, that in the end is seen as, okay, now that's unreal too, drop it. Only you are real. And that's why at the end of so many of these scriptures, you hear words like, there is no bondage, there is no liberation. The bondage isn't real, the liberation isn't real, the scriptures aren't real, the guru isn't real. Only Aham is real. Going on.
घटादिषु प्रणष्टेषु यथाकाशो न नश्यति तथा देहेषु नष्टेषु देहि नित्यो न नश्यति. Just as space or the enclosed space does not perish when the pot and the light are destroyed, so the embodied spirit, which is eternal, does not perish when the bodies are destroyed.
Yes. So we have, does the individual soul merge with Brahman? I'm going to go to Swarga where I'll be one with God. Is that what happens when you break a glass? What happens to the space? Nothing. The glass is in space. There is no space in the glass per se. Space is in another dimension. I can move the glass in space, and space doesn't do anything. So your physical body and the subtle body are jada. They're inert. They have no sentience. A thought can't see another thought. A feeling can't see a feeling. Well, I can feel my finger touch my thumb. No, I know the sensations. I am the knower of the field and all fields, as Krishna says in Gita. And I never changes. It is achalam, it never moves, never changes. Acharam, it doesn't roam about. Going on.
समित्या पुरुषो यद्वत् रक्षन् व्योमात्मशङ्कया घटाकाशादिषु क्लिष्ट तथा मा क्लेशवान् भव शुद्धचिन्मात्र आत्मायम् इति मत्वा सुखी भव. Don't be distressed in the manner in which that unreal person was afflicted in regard to the space of the pot and the like, protecting them on account of the mistaken belief that they are of the nature of the sky or unlimited space.
So don't feel bad.
Regarding this, that self is only pure consciousness, be happy.
Yes. So don't be distressed about the stupid ego. Pay it no heed. See its fundamental unreality. It is not a sentient being. You are sentient being. And you go nowhere. Even looking to this very life. Whatever you've gone through, you have been there and you haven't really changed. Body changes, feelings change, ideas change, beliefs change. But you are nitya, eternal. Going on.
Section 3. Bhingishopakhyanam. The story of Bhingisha. Atmatatvasya vrismritya jagat prapnoti satyatam rajjutatvasya vrismitya ujago drishyate yatha. By the forgetfulness of the true nature of the self, the world attains the state of reality, just as a snake is perceived by the forgetfulness of the true nature of a rope.
Yes. So when I forget, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, Brahman alone is real. The phenomenal world is nitya, illusory. Then, in my mind, I start taking imaginary images as real and consequential. And then I start to suffer. I mean, we can't appreciate the light show, but don't forget that it's a light show. And your ego's not the director. Never forget. Next one.
कनकव्यतिरेकेण केयूरम्येण भावितं केयूरमेव तत्तस्य न तस्य कनकं हि तत्. By whom a bracelet is thought of as different from gold, to him that is only a bracelet. It is surely not gold for him.
Yes. So, if you're focused on what's the value of the bracelet, you're attentive that it's gold. What's gold up to? 3,000 an ounce or something like that. 5? Oh my gosh.
Wow. Silver's been a big market, but
So if you've got a box full of broken gold jewelry,
traded in, you know.
no, you throw it away because the jewelry is broken. That's paying attention to the Namarupa, the name and form, instead of the gold. See the point?
Yes, you know.
So all this is nothing but God. Another one of my slogans that I love. Right where the trouble seems to be, there God is. What's the nature of God? Sat Chit Ananda. That's what's there.
Yes.
Did you have a thought, Stephen?
Lots of thoughts, but I'll just let go on. It's amazing stuff. It's, yeah. I mean, the view tonight, I mean, I just got so much of what you're talking about, the space. And this system we have here is a phenomenon, another phenomenon. It's no different than that, except it has different characteristics that
Yeah.
we relate to. But it's like magic. But this is really in some sense, it's a mirage like everything.
Yeah.
And yet we identify with it and not the creator of what this is in one way, you know. It's like magic.
All right, we'll end here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Oh, that's